What does the Spanish Grand Prix have in store for us today, I wonder? I hope we see some tight wheel-to-wheel action down the main straight, circa Mansell and Senna way back in '91, or maybe we'll have a more strategic race here on a track where overtaking can be difficult. It's a sellout crowd of 140,000 here today as we await lights out for the 730-metre sprint down to turn 1 of this 2.9-mile racetrack. Overtaking is challenging through these 16 corners, but there's still a lot of high-speed excitement to be found, including the flat-out turn 3 and the terrifying blind right of turn 9. And it's an absolute pleasure to be joined once again by Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about red. They're still relatively new to a sport which does have a high learning curve and, of course, little tolerance for mistakes.
And this is something that has ended the career of many a young driver, as that leap up to Formula One proves to be too much. But luckily in this case, I'd say they're doing a good, solid job, and the risk the team took in signing them is definitely starting to pay off.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and starting alongside him P2 is Sebastian Vettel. Looking down the rest of the grid we have Bottas, Leclerc, Max Verstappen and Albon, Gasly, Raikkonen, Norris and Carlos Sainz, Grosjean, Perez, Kevin Magnussen and Faber, Butler, Stroll, Red and George Russell. Ricciardo and Robert Kubica takes the last spot on the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Is now enabled and will be available to use when you are within 1 second of the car ahead in the DRS zone. The car behind is gaining on you by 0.5 of teammate ahead is 8.1 seconds. Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the... Great maneuver. You made it look easy. Trailing our teammate by 11.7 seconds. Okay, the safety car is out. The safety car is out. We need to form up at a reduced pace. Keep a close eye on that delta time. Trailing our teammate by 4.9 seconds. There's 3 laps of fuel remaining. Not good enough at all. Let's push harder next time, okay?
That's it for another Grand Prix and a fantastic win for Mercedes. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Without a doubt, the safety car changed everything today. The key to their success was keeping calm and reacting to the situation quickly. We've seen teams in the past throw away wins because they were too hesitant, but here they were decisive, and that's allowed them to take the advantage.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again. So, let's review the drivers' standings. Lewis Hamilton takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship. Let's focus on the driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who do you pick? It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. No change in the top spot, but with today's points, their hold on the lead is getting weaker. Meanwhile, Toro Rosso's strong weekend allows them to continue their march up the table. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for the next one.
Fantastic. That was the fastest lap. You're in the top 10 now. Keep it up. To jump out if you get too hot in there. There's a problem with the cooling system and it's going to take us a few minutes. Very happy with that position. Well done.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Hamilton, Leclerc and Valtteri Bottas. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then. A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That was how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but still we race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean Sea. There's no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. We're on the French Riviera once more this weekend at the 2-mile-long Circuit de Monaco. The cars climb around 40 metres up through Beau Rivage, onto the casino, and then descending down towards the harbour through Sector 2. It's a very short run from pole position to the first of the 19 corners here, 7 to the left and 11 to the right. There's one single DRS zone as well, so don't expect that to make overtaking any easier today. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Now, let's talk about Sergio Perez. There's a new gearbox in the back of that car, which means a grid penalty, and hopefully some excitement as they make their way through the field.
Well, at the end of the day, it's always better to take some pain now than parking it up halfway through the Grand Prix. Let's just hope they can put that new gearbox to good use and get the results they're looking for.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Bottas, Vettel, Max Verstappen and Sainz, Weber, Butler, Ricciardo and Red, Albon, Gasly, Kimi Raikkonen and Norris, Grosjean, Magnussen, Robert Kubica and Lance Stroll. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Russell and Sergio Perez completes our grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Exit now. That's P19. You have P19. Nice work, you did well today. I think the boss will be happy with that one.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, you know what they say, to finish first you have to finish. And that fact was clear today, with lots of retirements having a big effect on the outcome of the race. As a driver, you tend to keep reliability concerns to the back of your mind and just focus on what's in front of you. But for the teams, races like this can be very stressful.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes.
Let's have a quick look at how the driver standings have changed. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
But there's no question in my mind, it has to go to George Russell. What a performance. He's got every right to be proud of what he accomplished out there today.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship.
It was a tough race for our championship leaders who lose ground at the top of the table.
It's been an absolutely wild